everybody, it's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. Oops, I hit the record. Dummy. It's Teresa and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be making a very short video about learning Chinese and more specifically Mandarin. So today what I really want to talk about is the hardest aspect to learning Mandarin and what is it difficult about Mandarin. So most people get really afraid and unsure about learning Mandarin because of what Hanzi looks like, right? It's very intimidating and it really makes someone not want to start. Totally understand, I was the exact same. Being from a partly Chinese background, I was always encouraged to learn Chinese and I started significantly later, and in fact later than most of my other languages, because I just felt like I couldn't do it. And of course, I made up all kinds of excuses and said that it was stupid, but eventually came to my senses and realized that it was just me being afraid of not being able to do it and wasting a lot of time and, you know, that kind of thing.
The difficulties of Mandarin, how to solve them.
Number 1. Learning Chinese phrasing. Mandarin is one of the most structurally different languages I've ever seen in my entire life. There is very little grammar in the ways of, you know, traditional considerations, and I find that because there is such little structure, my brain doesn't like to grab onto the kind of structures all that much because it's so used to English or Korean or Japanese that have so many structures upon structures upon structures. It's not quite parallel to any of the languages I know. I find it quite difficult, or at least at first, to really get the hang of. The ways to counteract this issue is when you are studying it, you need to study lots of example sentences and listen to a lot of Chinese, even more than any other language, because you need to start to understand how Chinese people think and how Chinese people structure their words and their sentences. The second thing that is really hard about Chinese is that there are tones. And of course, everyone knows that tones are difficult, but I want to say that you shouldn't be too afraid of it, because if you do have a clean ear and you spend a lot of time listening and practicing and repeating, you will get it. And don't be frustrated if you can't get it within the first week, within the first 2 weeks. For me, it definitely took a month or over a month to even get certain specific sounds in Mandarin, so don't let that stop you. Third thing that's really hard with Mandarin Chinese is that even though Mandarin is a tonal language and it depends a lot on you hearing small, intricate differences between each sound, there are so many different versions to Chinese and so many different accents that act on even the same Mandarin. Personally, I learned Chinese for 3 weeks in Taiwan, and most of the shows that I watch online are also Taiwanese. So when I listen to the fast-paced speaking people from Beijing, from mainland China, I find it very difficult to understand. So one of the things you might want to do if you are interested in speaking Chinese on total, you know, full spectrum, is listening to various sources from various different countries, various different accents, so that you can get your ear a lot more comfortable to various different forms of the same sound. Now that's all I have really for things that I found that are really difficult, that you need to, you know, think of other tactics to really get the hang of. Now what I really want to talk about is stuff that seem really hard but really aren't as difficult.
Mandarin myths.
The first thing I want to talk about with you guys, not really as difficult as it seems, is Chinese Hanzi, which are Chinese characters. I know it looks ridiculous and that each one is different and each one has different meaning and whatever, but surprisingly a lot of people lean towards Japanese because, you know, other writing systems that are included and you don't have to rely only on Chinese characters. However, I find it so much more difficult to learn kanji, Japanese Chinese characters, than Hanzi. And the reason why is because Chinese people generally use the same characters over and over and over. Even if they're not the same characters, you know, the radicals, real telltales, they really tell you meaning is and what the pronunciation is, because half of the character actually shows you what the pronunciation is for that character. Although it is hard, once you start getting into it, read a lot and you practice a lot, you'll find naturally that your brain will start to pick up the patterns and start to be able to read and understand Chinese characters a lot more sooner than you thought you would be able to. The second and last thing that I want to talk about with Chinese is pronunciation in general. One of the classic ways to practice pronunciation is to just really listen and copy while holding a pen behind your teeth. But basically what happens is it forces you to move your mouth and open your mouth more to try and make these sounds. So it puts a lot more focus on how you have to move your lips and move your tongue to sound like what you want to sound like. My suggestion is for you just to listen to a lot of Chinese. Like I said, it is a repetitive language in some sense. You'll be able to increase your ability a lot faster than you think you can because you'll just be hearing the sounds so often if you're studying the right way. So that's it for today's video. I hope this encouraged you to pick up a Chinese book and actually start learning Chinese. 加油! I just want to say I am not perfect in Chinese and I am actually learning myself, but that being said, I do want to encourage anyone to pick up the language. It is a beautiful language and it really isn't as hard as everyone makes it seem. In fact, it's just as hard as any other language because every language has an aspect that is really difficult and that is relatively easy. Give me a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below on what you're worried about with Chinese, what kind of questions and worries you have about your Chinese studies. If you like this video and you want to see more content about different languages, traveling, studying abroad, study tips, etc., press the subscribe button down below and press the bell to get notifications of my videos every week. And that's it for this week, so I'll see you guys later. 再见!